Hello everyone, Quinn here, and today I'll be going over the patch notes for TCM's January 28th update. So this is actually a pretty decent update. It's about what I was expecting them. I was hoping they would have done this a lot sooner, as it's been almost 2 months since they released the content for Bones and Wyatt back in December, and with all the huge issues that was going on with it, I really feel like a hot fix was warranted. Holidays or not, but I've beaten that dead horse for the last almost 2 months, so let's just get on to what the heck they've added with this update and keep it simple. So, first and foremost, we'll be getting the Storm variant of the Slaughterhouse, which is very fitting for this release, as we are also going to be getting the 2003 version of Leatherface, which, for those of you who have not watched that movie, which I highly recommend you do, it's actually a very great movie, and it can be attested to the whole trend we had going on for the last 2 decades where they're just doing remakes of horror movies, just like the whole horror trope in general, which a lot of people don't give Leatherface credit for. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is what really kind of started the modern day slasher genre. You, of course, have American Psycho. That's what really did it if you want to get into it. But when it comes to the actual format we see now with Jason, Michael Myers, etc., it all can go back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was released before Halloween. Everyone always tries to coin Halloween as the granddaddy of the slasher. No, it's Texas Chainsaw. But moving on, there's a scene in said movie, Chainsaw Massacre 2003, where they were in a slaughterhouse and it was raining and dark. So I feel like this was kind of their way of adding that slaughterhouse to the game. Of course, it's not going to look at it, but it's as close as way to get it. So I won't complain. So this is a very amazing looking skin. This really kind of does art bully justice after all the mediocre skins that we've gotten. Case in point, we have the Connie skin pack. What is it? Three. That's also going to be releasing with this update. It's just yet another shorts, t-shirt, and flip flops combo for her. I mean, I don't think she's had one with yet. No, no. I mean, this one's like a t-shirt, but she's had other outfits with t-shirts and sandals, but just not shorts. But it's like, you get where I'm going. This is most of her skins just like her just mismatching the outfits we already have. There's nothing too special, but at least her t-shirts have funny little images on it. So I'm of course going to get it, whatever. But of course, we at least have Leland coming in clutch here with a much more satisfactory outfit. There's some people who are upset that's yet another Leland wearing jeans and the jacket or whatever. Well, I think it's actually slacks in this outfit, but I still personally like it. So I'm of course going to be rocking that as Leland when I do play him. Victim in general. I could already say I haven't been playing much of Victim. I played it just enough to grind not Leland, Wyatt to level 3 and a little after, but I could definitely say it has been weeks since I played a Victim. And usually when I do step in to play Victim, it's literally one game that I step right out. But moving on, it's enough about what we're actually going to be getting now for what we're going to be seeing fixes of. So first up, they're doing a change to Rush Week, where Johnny's level 4 blood rush ability is automatically going to be active when he gets to level 4. It seems kind of broken, but their reason for doing so is the fact that some people thought it was confusing having to press the button to activate it, and then it also got in the way with the mini games and some input. So this streamliner just made it permanent, which is going to be crazy because if I'm not mistaken, level 4 basically gives him infinite stamina, the blood rush ability, but whatever. Who even plays Rush Week? I tried last week to play Rush Week. As soon as I seen it was over like 30 seconds, I just immediately unqueued. I think I turned off the game. I only wanted to play like one Rush Week game before I finished up for that day anyway. But moving on, this is a huge change here that I've been asking for like over a year now, and this is going to be interactions. They've prioritized traversal activities over picking up items. So hopefully, this should fix any issues where you grab a fuse and go through the gap at the same time, end up getting stuck in a wall, any nonsense like that. Grabbing bone scraps or a health bottom, try to open a door. If it fixes that, especially, this would be a huge debut. Because again, I could not stand all that stuff. It's so annoying when, especially the graveyard man. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have a clip of that. If I do, you'd be looking at it right now. But it was like I was trying to door slam Bubba because I'm an avid Taekwondo stunning Bubba. They can reduce his stun all he wants. As long as I have Taekwondo, he's going to get appropriately stunned from the door. And I'm over that 3 second stun nonsense, which basically does nothing to him. But moving on. Yeah, I remember it was like multiple times. I don't know how he didn't kill me. I kept grabbing a health bottle when I was trying to door slam it. It was so annoying. But again, hopefully I won't ever see that issue again. So definitely huge debut change. I'm glad they were able to sneak that one in. We have base game crashes. Apparently, all the crashes we see at this game mostly are memory leak issues, more specifically for the Xbox. So it's very interesting. Xbox of all platforms suffers from really bad memory leak issues. So hopefully that will be fixed. And then they even add a little extra note here saying they're going to continue to make sure that they fix issues with memory leaks and whatnot, so this can finally stop happening permanently. Because yeah, it's really getting old. This is like the third time Xbox is having crashing issues. So speaking of crashes, we have Wyatt. They're going to be fixing issues that will cause the server to crash. If Wyatt got hit at the same time he used an ability, I've seen perfect. Sheesh, plenty of moments where he just straight up would crash after throwing a knife. I wasn't going to put this clip in, but I'm going to put it anyway. Basically, Wyatt turned off the gen, and then immediately after I hit him, I don't know if that counts as him getting hit as he threw it or not, because he didn't like he finished the sheathing of the knife animation or whatever, but it did a similar bug I mentioned last time I did a TCM video where it seemed to have basically kicked Wyatt out of the server. It didn't crash the server, everyone. It just like it disconnected him, so he was interaction locked in place. Meanwhile, Sissy eventually came over and killed him. So it it's kind of a get after Wyatt kind of moment there. Literally just screwed him over and no one else. But otherwise, issues they have fixed here is going to be the fact that when Wyatt threw a knife at Grandpa, it would consume a bone scrap if he had one on him. This one actually, I'm surprised they fixed. I want to say I reported this to the devs, but I wasn't sure if they even fixed it or not. Another issue I don't know if they fixed is the fact that Wyatt screams like Danny if he isn't chosen and is featured during the intro cutscene. So I'm crossing my fingers they fixed that. They don't need to put in the notes. They just need to fix it. We'll see about that. Another huge fix they're going to be due is issues to Bone's savagery and endurance. Now his savagery and endurance will properly scale. I also wanted to add a footnote here, as since my last video, I've had a lot more time to play Bones to the point that I can confirm I'm almost done leveling every last perk on him. And yes, it indeed was a painful journey, especially when I had to go level up useless perks like slow and steady. Which, speaking, we're going to be getting slow and steady later. But moving on, we have Bones of Savagery again. That's going to be fixed. I also want to add a side note that you add big swings onto Bones, it's still 6 swings to stam out. Which, again, if you put on perks such as swinging for the fences and easily tuckered out, it's still 6 swings for those as well. So it's like weird. It's like it just is hard capped at 6 swings. So it's almost as if there's some spaghetti code and it's like applying Leatherface stall logic to like Bones. You know how Leatherface's chainsaw doesn't use stamina, it does a stall meter. But like of course. It's just, I'm just again, I'm just trying to figure out how they keep having these issues with stamina. I'm trying to piece it together. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know what's going on. But moving on. Um, Although Bones of Savagery wasn't affected by the attribute points, perks such as big swings, activate, etc., those all did affect it. I've noticed that generally you can get him down to 7 swings from having at least one of these perks on. I don't think I've ever really ran multiple of them stacked up like that. Like right now, I'm currently trying to level up big swings and what's the other perk? Hysterical Shrift. And again, I never really noticed him taking more than 7 swings, maybe 6 if it's like someone like Connie with no toughness. But I'm going one way too long with this tangent here with his stats. Close encounters. This is one I'm glad they fixed. I wasn't sure they're going to. And there was definitely an issue with Bones' close encounter values where this is basically the old way it used to work for the family. They had no attribute points towards it at all. So they don't mention what his values are going to be. Just know that now it shouldn't be a joke to beat Bones to the point that even a low health Connie can beat him, and etc. Especially with grip again, which he can get, by the way. For some reason, he can get grip and exterior, but Nancy and Hands can't. But I'm not going to go into that tangent again. So that's going to be fixing this. Good to see that. They're also going to be fixing the issue with Bones' Goro bombs, where they used to be able to hit you through walls. This kind of sucks because that was like one of the best things to do with him. Put the Gore bomb behind a wall or something like that, and then if they sprint by it, they'll get blown up through the wall. They usually won't expect it. It's also kind of screws up my strat I used with him on Nancy's house. I used to put them behind the doors there, and I actually was able to get a decent bit of hits through it as well. But I guess I won't be able to do that anymore. So that's gonna kind of suck. But moving on, there are buffing his hunting enthusiast perk. If I'm not mistaken, that's the barricade one. So it's going to be increased by 20% for the first level, 30 for the second, and then 40 for the last. So I'm not sure if those are going to be the values for it now, or if we're going to add an addition to it. Regardless, I'm going to be testing that perk out, and then I'll see how it feels when they update it. So hopefully, this makes that perk actually viable because right now it's completely useless. So going into slow and steady, apparently there's a bug where family members would be able to interact with Bones' Gourd Bomb if they had slow and steady equipped. I honestly might end up literally pausing this video, playing the game just to test this out. So if I could get someone to use Bones, because I'm usually the one using it, I will definitely throw on slow and steady. I know I have it on at least Sissy, so I'll see what that looks like. And again, if I manage to get that, I'm trying to get this video out quick, but uh, we'll see if I can squeeze that in here or not. Whatever. Again, if I manage to pull it off, I'll show it on the screen. So I'll let you guys and maybe a little sticky note I put on the screen decipher what is going on exactly. But moving on. There was an issue with Danny where apparently when he tampered the water pumps on Graveyard, they were permanent. That is not going to be the case anymore. They will now automatically deactivate and properly take longer for the family to reactivate them. So, okay. I don't think I've played against Danny on that map enough to see him tampering and whatnot. I mean, I personally don't even bother guarding those water tanks at all. I just usually try to focus on Jen or whatever, or end up somehow chasing someone around futilely because I've been using the heck out of bones and I'm going to spoil it right now. So I was watching someone stream when the patch notes first were released, but I didn't see anything about Bones' whole what's the word I'm looking for? His him being able to go through crawl spaces faster than everyone else, like basically having a default wireframe, or the fact that he goes through gaps slower than anyone. So I don't recall them ever mentioning whether this is intentional or not, but we'll see if they shadow patch that. I doubt it. I personally just want to know if this was intended or not for him to move through gaps so slow and stuff. So we'll see about that. They fixed the issue of graveyard where if you've been idle for 10 minutes, this means spectating. You can't be idle for more than like 5 minutes before the game kicks you. So this is definitely something I've witnessed a lot when I've been playing with my friends, as they tend to escape a lot sooner than me due to me always getting lost on that stupid graveyard map or something like that, or me just fooling around. So they end up escaping, or some scenarios they die. I'm the last person. I'm taking 10 years to get out. So the game's going on for so long, they end up getting kicked. So I'm not even kicked. The game crashes for them being idle. So I know she's definitely gonna be happy to see that's fixed. This is what I'm surprised to see because this is under investigations, but they actually end up fixing this, and this is going to be the fact that you could not padlock the generator escape at a gas station. So again, my last video, I showed some of the stuff I didn't end up doing a clip for. Maybe I might find another clip and show it again here just for the sake of it, since again, I said I'm going to try to do that slow and steady. So again, if I end up doing that, I'll post it here, but otherwise. We have the Bandit Mill night hiding spots. That's something about the lighting being too dark when you're in a hiding spot, so that's good to be fixed. We have the issue of Grandpa Perks remaining activated when he's been stabbed. Again, I've been playing Family like crazy. I've never noticed this, so I mean, for the one person that's seen this, I guess it's cool for them. The Family House living room light. This is what I'm glad they fixed. This has been something that's been in the game for months. It's hilarious. It's been in the game so long. Some people thought it was intentional, more specifically to help with Maria, who speaking of again, I gotta grab this clip too. I should have grabbed it. I was bored on my tail end of my session at TCM. I started looking through tutorials or whatever because I didn't look at them before. So I was like, I'm curious to see what tips they're going to give players for these characters. So I seen from Maria, it said that Maria is supposed to be tough and stealthy. So that is true. She does have honest toughness. I'm not sure if that's supposed to apply to the shrimp or not, but I feel like again, this is just like solidified the fact. I'm pretty sure they bugged Maria's stats and they somehow still haven't fixed it. And I've been mentioning it to them on their social medias. I sent them a personal ticket. No responses anywhere around. It's like I seriously think Maria's supposed to have like 30 something toughness and 30 something stealth because there's no way they just gave her like honest, what is it, 20 stealth and all just literally all the honest stats and call it that. I just do not believe she's supposed to have honest stats, but it's like I guess everyone's okay with having honest stats. This has not been fiction. It's been almost a year since Maria's been released. It's like I really want to see her have her own stats. I cannot stand that she has the same stats as Lana. But moving on. For some reason, they have a fix with the windmill storm veer on the map. It hasn't been in the game yet. So this reminds me of Nancy's house when that map first came out. There's like a bunch of bug fixes for it. It's like we haven't even got the map. How do you have bug fixes for it? But there's just something about the mill moving unnaturally fast. Weird that they threw that in there. Like, anywho, they have something about issues where on both victim and uh family that if you adjust the camera during a close encounter, they disappear. I've never experienced that, so okay. This is something I was confused about before. They're talking about Danny moving slower than victims. They didn't give us all the details. Apparently, it's when he goes through mud, he moves slower than other victims. Which, for those of you who don't know, for some reason, the family gets slowed down going through mud more than victims. I don't know why. I guess they wanted the mud to help family. I'm sorry, help victims more than family. It's just so stupid, especially in Graveyard with this bunch of mud everywhere. It looks like it's slowing down the victims, but it's slowing down the family. Really, it's not really slowing the victims down. It's just, anywho, they fixed the hitchhiker trap damage. This is where we go into a hitchhiker trap. You take literally no damage. You still took the bleed damage, but not the actual damage of stepping in a trap. I can't say I was eager enough to potentially run into a hitchhiker trap to find out what happened if you struggle too fast trying to get out of the trap. But moving on, Rush Week. They fixed a bug that caused players who cancel out of a private match in Rush Week to incorrectly get placed back in a private lobby instead of the main menu. Oh, that's actually pretty funny. It just force you to turn the game off. You want to don't want to play Rush Week anymore. They also fixed a bug that caused a non-host player to get stuck in an infinite loading screen if they lost internet connection when loading into it. Oh, that's interesting. Rush Week car beat again to fix an issue where players were able to call the police without completing the minigame to start the car. This is with the police car not being highlighted to Johnny or the sorority girls. Interesting. And then finally, they have an issue in private matches with Wyatt crashes. It says they resolved the bug here where the match would crash. Wyatt would attempt to retrieve a throwing knife from the ground after hitting a family member with another throwing knife. And that's probably an issue that happened in the main game too. But hey, as long as all these issues with Wyatt's crashing has been fixed, that is great because it's very annoying that literally I'm forced to use his throwing knife interaction one just because everything else is bugged. I kind of wanted to see what the extra stun duration and whatnot would look like, but you know when I'm having all these goofy issues whenever I try to scale away from the meta, yeah, it forces you to just play Wyatt in the same linear, boring fashion. And again, it was just really annoying having all these issues with Wyatt. It's just to the point where I dread even seeing him. But now that all this has been fixed, the only issue is going to be the fact that his whole being able to throw a knife and turn off stuff just like that is going to be a fix. 'Cause that's this is really just the most annoying thing about him, hands down. But I guess we give it a few more months, maybe they'll finally be in a position where they feel like they've profited enough from these characters and they can finally nerf Wyatt when they need to buff Bones if they want to profit off him. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. So I'm very anxious to see what this new update will do for the game. There's not really any meta shaking changes or anything in here, just literally bug fixes. But there's a decent bit of stuff in a content pass I haven't seen yet. I think there's at least one more execution pack, plenty more cosmetics for other victims to show up. So I don't know if February is going to be the last month of content or it's just, the last month of content for the past and they're going to keep going after that. I don't know how much longer this game has. I mean, for the most part, it feels like the player base is kind of, I don't know if stagnant's the word, but it's flatlining, it's it's not going up or down really. It's just steady. So I mean, if that's enough for it to keep going, hey, more power to Gun. But I really don't know what they could possibly do to really invigorate this game. I think this skin definitely help. I think it seriously would benefit them to do some sort of trailer for this skin to draw some hype. Because the 2003 Leatherface, I'd say, is the most endeared Leatherface from the entire franchise. So if they could do something to hype that up, that'd be great. I can already say after seeing the 2003 Leatherface, I know it's easier for them to get Leatherface skins than actual characters from the Texas franchise for some reason. But when I see a 2003 Leatherface, the first thing that pops in my mind is, where is Sheriff Hoyt? We want to see him. you know. So I'm crossing my fingers he comes sooner rather than later. How long it takes him to release characters, we'd be lucky to see him maybe show up by May, but I don't know. I also want to point out that this Leatherface skin is supposed to come with both if I'm not mistaken, the skin, a chainsaw, and an execution, just like the Nicotero. So it's very interesting that this skin, for those of you who do not have the content pass, as I want to mention, I don't think I mentioned earlier, if you have the content pass, you get this skin for free. But if you don't have the content pass, it's $7. So this is like half the price of that overpriced $15 Nicotero skin. So it's very strange that that skin costs so much compared to this. I guess it's because it's Nicotero. He's more well known than whoever made this design for Leatherface. But hey, I'm not gonna complain about it, especially that I'm getting it free regardless. And if you don't have the content pass, it's not overpriced amount for this. I think $7 is definitely fair for what you're getting here. Awesome skin. I'm gonna assume the chainsaw's gonna have his own unique sounds, and then the execution, which I really hope is one of the executions for the movies, because he's got some really cool kills he did in the movie. So we'll see what that is. But I also want to mention, as per standard, the Con and Leland, those alpha packs are both $5 each. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Quinn here. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And, geesh, what do I usually say after I end these videos or whatever? Oh, that's right. Get a life.